Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. Let's have another look at Tsukuyomi Zero, this time with a couple of drop monsters. And then gimmicks here are blocks and a little bit of gravity barriers, and then laser barriers. And the first character that I'm using is Daikoku, and they have neither null block nor null gravity barrier. So they don't cover the gimmicks at all. The reason why I'm using them is because their bump combo is so good, the Chain Lightning. It does a lot of damage to little guys, and it's easy to use too, since it just goes to the next nearest character, and then, keeps on going to the next nearest character. So they'll be very useful for, of course, taking down little guys. And then sometimes there will be chances for guys without null block to pinch, and in those cases then they will be very useful. The next drop monster I'm using is Kushinada Zero, and she's pretty much perfect for this mission because she has both null gravity barrier and null block. And she's also a power type, which means she's especially good at pinching. She does have a lock-on laser bump combo, but there are some places where there are not laser barriers, so we can wait for those times. And then I'm bringing a couple of Hatcher monsters that were, I thought, the best that I used from my first time clear. First I'm using a Sanzan Hoshi. She is a Pierce with Dark Slayer and Dark Resistance. Just like Daikoku, she does not cover the gimmicks, but her other attributes are so good that I wanted to use her again. And then finally I'm using Harley X, and she is a bounce with no gravity barrier and a null block. So she's really good, just like Kushinada Zero. And then she has a flare bump combo, which is good in close range. And then she's got a very strong strike shot, which can just clear a stage, just outright. Especially if we get it in the boss's weak point. So yeah, I have 3 bounce monsters. Those are good for pinching. And then I have 2 guys with null gravity barrier, 2 guys with null block. And I think that's a pretty good balance. You don't need to have your whole team have null block and null gravity barrier. Alright, and then as we can see, we're just taking down the wizards first. And then I like to get rid of the eyeball guys. But that can be a little bit difficult. It's best to pinch in between them, but they don't start out next to each other. So we have to take down one and then kind of screw up the order that they move. And then when they're together, we can pinch and take them down at the same time. And then here we see the gravity barrier come out, and that only comes out if we leave the wizards out too long. They send out the gravity barriers. So if we take them out quickly enough, then there will be no gravity barriers. And then that won't be such a big deal to Daikoku or Sanzan Hoshi. And then lots of people, they use a Key as a drop monster here. And that's a really good idea because she has really high stats and then Deity Slayer, which works on the boss. But since I figured that most people would be using that, I brought Daikoku instead, just to show that they are usable as well. Alright, so here we have a chance to pinch. Perfect. So yeah, with Harley X's null block, we went right through the blocks and then took down the pair of eyeballs. And then if we do that, they will stop reviving each other. And yeah, because of this revival loop, this mission can take a long time. Still haven't really figured out how to get through it very quickly yet. But I would be interested in making the max luck of Tsukuyomi Zero. Alright, that'll do it for this mission. Or this level, rather. Okay, mini-boss stage. And then here, this is the Mandrake mini-boss. And it does have a Demi-Human Slayer, so it will do extra damage to Kushinada Zero. We can kind of prevent a little bit of damage if we keep Kushinada Zero away from the mini-boss. And then here too, I like to get rid of the wizard first, so we'll do that here with a Daikoku. Okay, and then if we do take down one of the two little guys with a skull mark on it, healing walls will come out. And you might have noticed, but there is no healing up to now. There are no hearts in this mission, just the healing walls. And so all of those early stages, we had to get through without any healing at all. Alright, let's see if with the Sanzan Hoshi we can do a tricky shot and take down the two eyeballs. Alright, we did it. Overall, I would say that, what's-his-face? Miyamoto Musashi is maybe a better choice than Sanzan Hoshi. But for whatever reason, I just really liked how Sanzan Hoshi played, so that's why I chose her here. Okay, and then we took down the kind of the knight guy, and then the other healing wall came out, and then the other eyeball pair came out. Okay, there's that pretty strong Daikoku bump combo. Unfortunately, we weren't able to take down both of the eyeballs. Alright, we'll get some healing in here. Here we'll go for a crazy angle. Maybe we can take down both of the little guys. No, not quite. Kushinada Zero is asleep here. All we have to do is just hit her with another of our teammates, and then she will wake up. She will not shoot out the bump combo that turn that we hit her, but we will be able to wake her up, so. Alright, let's see if we can get rid of this pair here. And good, very good. Yeah, there is a Kushinada Zero with her power type level strength coming into play. Alright, so here I see a couple of attacks coming up, and then our HP is not too high. So we'll go ahead and just end this level with Harley X's strike shot. Okay, so yeah, it is an explosion on first contact, so we just need to be kind of close to the weak point. Alright, and then here is the last level before the boss sequence. And then here too, I like to get rid of the wizard first. That will prevent any gravity barriers from coming out. And then I'll start to work on the eyeballs and the knight guy. Alright, and then Kushinada Zero also has a Paladin Slayer, which is why we got the Slayer damage in there. Alright, with Sanzan Hoshi, we'll pick up the boot and see what happens. Alrighty, so we were able to take down that pair of eyeballs in the same turn. And then, yeah, when there are two pairs of eyeballs on the field at the same time, it can be difficult to know which ones are paired with each other. And then the way that we can tell is when the weak points are kind of facing each other. So, like, one pair of eyeballs will have an up and down weak point, and then the other will have a left and right. As long as we take down the pair together at the same time, then that will stop that revival loop. here I'm going to miss Kushinada Zero's gauge shot so that we can stay within that area with the block and get maybe another hit or two into the boss's weak point. Alright, we'll do the same thing here, take advantage of the block and do some good damage on the boss there. Alright, and then there, Tsukuyomi Zero will revive the two little guys. And this is actually a very nice thing, because once we take down those little guys, they will shoot out more healing walls. Alright, here I was very interested in just clearing the level, so we'll go ahead and use a Daikoku strike shot. Okay, and that's pretty decent damage. It's not stopped by the laser barriers, of course, so... Alright, and then here is the beginning of the boss sequence. Again, we have two pairs of eyeballs, and then we can tell which are paired with each other by looking at where their weak points are. So even though there are two eyeballs in the lower right-hand corner where we can pinch in between, they are not paired together, so there's no real point to getting those two together. Alright, but again, Sanzan Hoshi was lined up pretty well to get that pair there, so that's it for that. Oh, and these eyeballs, they will heal everybody else on the screen, so we do want to take them down before we start going after the boss. Okay, not too much we can do on this turn. I'm kind of waiting for the eyeballs for their 2 count to come down to 0, so that they start moving. Okay, some nice flare damage there from Harley X. Unfortunately, it'll be healed right away there, though. Okay, so we saw that the top eyeball was going to move down next turn, so we took down the lower eyeball, and then the upper eyeball moves down, and then it will meet up with the lower eyeball, so then we'll be able to pinch him next turn. Alright, and that clears us up to go after the boss, and then there's the revival of the little guys, so we can take them down, and then get the healing walls out again. But as always, we want to get rid of the wizard guy first, so we can prevent the gravity barriers from coming out. Alright, so I do want to do damage to the boss, but we'll take the long way around. We'll go down first, pick up the boot, get some healing in, and then do some damage on the boss. And that's a technique that works really well against Bishamonten as well. Okay, excellent damage there from Harley X. And then here I'm going to try to go for some flare damage. Alrighty, very good. Okay, next stage. Here there are a bunch of little guys, so there's a possibility for a bunch of healing walls. And then actually the way the blocks are set up, it's really kind of close quarters. So there's a good chance for healing here, all around. Okay, we'll take down that guy there. And then we'll try to get rid of the other wizard guy too. Alright, excellent. And there is one night guy left over, but we don't need to worry too much about him yet. If I can, I want to get rid of these eyeball guys next. Alright, thankfully we took down one of the eyeballs on an earlier turn. So now they are together as a pair. So maybe we can get the pinch shot here. Not quite. But they're still together, so maybe next turn we'll be able to get rid of them. Very tricky shot though. Maybe with Daikoku's bump combo we can get them. Yeah, almost. Almost. Alright, unfortunately we took down the eyeballs in a way that they got separated again. So again, I don't really want to deal with the eyeball revival loop anymore, so we'll go ahead and use Harley X's strike shot, and again, just clear the stage. If we were closer to the weak point, we could have gotten maybe another 500,000 damage, but that was enough. And then the boss had kind of lower hit points anyway, so it turned out okay. Okay, last boss stage. And yeah, same deal here. Take down the wizard first, go after the eyeballs and the knight as the opportunities present themselves, and then go after the boss. Alright, so here I saw a chance to take down the pair on the right. Alright, well, not enough direct hits, but they are weakened up, so maybe next turn we can take them down. Okay, excellent. Alright, we'll do some healing here. Ideally we would get above the eyeball, but that's good enough, I think. Okay, here I see a great opportunity to use Kushinada Zero's strike shot. For one thing, there's a couple boots on the ground, and then for another, the boss is in the center of the screen, which is really good positioning for the strike shot. So we'll try to hit as many of my teammates as possible, and then get as many lasers out. And we got all three, very good. And pretty good damage there. And a little bit of healing as well. And we took down the eyeballs, so that was a pretty successful use of the strike shot, I think. Alright, next we'll use Sanzan Holshi with her extra damage in weak points, and that's pretty crazy damage there. And then we have the revival of the little guys, so we have more chances to get out healing walls. Alright, and then finally let's use Daikoku's strike shot, the missile strike shot. And that is fine. And yeah, that was able to be charged up again, even though we used it the turn before we entered the boss sequence. That's just how long the boss sequence is. Okay, so I hope that was helpful, and we'll see you again. Take care.